So now we're back, and my monitor is back down to the smaller size that's required for these videos. So you can see how the screen real estate plays out on this smaller size. So it was a good thing that we got rid of those recently used brushes so that we could actually see the entire bar here. And you can see what I'm doing without anything going past the edges of my monitor. The other thing that I want to do here while we're here is I'm going to go ahead and double click on the tab here for Navigator, like so, and for color, and for layers. What that'll do is that'll collapse all these guys up so that we don't have those in our way. Now, I'm not really going to be working with the media all that often, so I can click on this little red dot, but I can also go up to Window, and I can choose Media Selector and turn that off. So the idea being is that if you need to access anything about the user interface, you're going to be primarily doing it through the Window menu item. Now, the first thing that we want to do to begin working with our Painter installation here and starting to understand how to use it to create artwork is to understand what's going on with the Wacom tablet, or more specifically, what I'm doing with the Wacom tablet, how you can see what I'm doing, because Painter does provide us with a really wonderful cursor that will give you a great idea of what exactly it is I'm doing with my Wacom tablet so that you can mimic my hand movements. So in order to see that, we're going to go up here to File, and we're going to go to Open Template, and we're just going to choose the 810 by 572. And the reason why I did that is so that you can see what a template is. A template is just a document that's predefined, and it just opens straight away. Now you'll also notice that I'm zoomed in to 100% right now, which is perfectly good. So what I want to do when I'm starting with this is that if I'm using a pencil like the Real 2B pencil, which is our default tool to start with, you can see here that I can tilt my Wacom regular pen and it will sense that tilt. And then if I tilt up, it'll sense that tilt so that it gets to be very, very tiny. Now the way that we know what's going on with the tilt here is there's two parts of that cursor. There's this circle that represents the brush dab, and then there's sort of this gray line that represents the actual Wacom pen itself. So if I switch to another brush, this will become a lot more obvious. So I'm going to go up to Acrylics, and I'm going to choose Bristle Brush. And now you can see that I just tap out here to get rid of that selector. You can see that we have a circle that represents the brush, but then we have this sort of gray line, and that's representing where my Wacom pen is over the tablet. So you can see I can control the tilt. I'm tilting up so that the eraser end of the pen is facing towards my monitor. Now I'm tilting it so that the eraser end is facing towards my left hand. I'm now going to tilt it so that it's facing towards my right shoulder. So you can see that I can sense the tilt of our Wacom pen very easily by just looking at that gray line and saying, okay, well, which direction is that gray line facing? That's exactly the direction and the angle at which the Wacom pen is actually in reality. So that's a very handy thing for you, the viewer, to understand what's really going on with my hand as I'm making a mark. And the reason why is because in certain instances, if we go back to, say, that pencil, and I'll just scroll down over here, go back to the pencils category, and we're going to go back to the Real 2B pencil. So I'm going to scroll down and get the Real 2B pencil. And I'm also going to go ahead and open up something brand new that you haven't seen before by holding down the Control and Alt and hitting the 1 key. And what this is a new color selector, and I'll talk a lot more about this in coming lessons, but I just want to go ahead and drag all the way down to this bottom corner of the triangle to select black, and now I'm going to go ahead and begin to create some marks using our various different angles of our pencil, and you can see how having that registering the angles of our Wacom pen in reality in Painter is resulting in completely different brush strokes. We get the thin stroke if I have it more upright, and we get the thick stroke if I have it more at a grazing angle where I'm sort of shading with the side of the pencil, if you will. That's something that was really introduced with the hard media variants in Painter 11, and it's really a wonderful feature of the program. Now, since we are in JSON profile, we're ultimately not going to be using the default brushes. We're going to ultimately be using my custom brushes. But for right now, I'm going to be working with the default brushes over the next few lessons. And I want to talk about sort of the basics of what makes Painter work now that we understand the way in which the program operates as far as how it is going to interact with the Wacom tablet, and also how we can work with different workspaces. Now we can really delve into the actual working of the program itself.